Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
This week on the show, we talk to Matt and Mac of Drunken Devil. You're listening to a bonus episode of the Theme Park Duo podcast.
Prepare yourselves for an unforgettable encounter.
Hi, and welcome to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your park map, churro, and hop in line with us as we take you on a coast-to-coast adventure through the world of theme parks, haunts, conventions, and more. Now, here's your hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Gabe.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are
the Theme Park Duo.
We have a very, very fun bonus episode for you guys today. Be warned, it is explicit. There are many F-bombs in this episode that I am not bleeping because this is a bonus episode.
I said them all.
We said all of them.
No, I
Oh,
said
you
them
said all the F-bombs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I think it was our guest mainly.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
But
who am I kidding?
If it was anybody, it would be me. But no, totally fine with it. Doesn't matter to me. Just warning to everybody listening. If you are listening right now and you're used to the show, this episode is explicit. It does have a lot of curse words. You are warned from here on out. So, just letting you know. But
I just wanted to yell it really loud.
so did I. I just wanted to be like, bleh.
Right after you said it.
No, but seriously, this is a fantastic interview we've done with Mac and Matt from Drunken Devil. It is all about their Drunken Devil events they've been putting on, and most importantly, about their brand new podcast that they're putting on, along with matching drinks, which is pretty phenomenal.
Right?
They're doing like a crowdfunding situation right now. So we're going to be having the link to that in the description of this episode, wherever you're listening, so that you guys can go check it out and potentially support this really cool project for two really great people and a really great just project overall. Like, we're going to be actually giving some money to the project.
Oh, yeah. We want to hop on this.
Hands down. Hands down, we'll want to get those drinks, listen to a fun podcast.
Yeah.
Get more history and more of Drunken Devil in our lives.
Yeah.
Because we're actually really big fans of those events.
We've been missing it.
Yeah, we've been missing it big time, which if you don't know what Drunken Devil is, they throw themed entertainment events, essentially. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of steeped in horror, if you will, where it's kind of this big party, but there's these backstories kind of happening. There's characters involved. Their first one was a haunt that ended at a party, lots of drinks, lots of burlesque, things like that. So definitely check them out on social media if you want to see more about Drunken Devil and Bowser's dirt face. Our dog is laying like right next to us, and he has the biggest dirt face in the world right now because we're petting him and we're on the couch.
I'm trying to keep him
happy.
Quiet, and he's so happy because I'm just constantly petting
It's like his lower teeth are only out. But back on track. Definitely check out Drunken Devil. We absolutely love their events, and hopefully all you guys will enjoy it as well, and go support some really cool people. But before we jump into this interview, we do want to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what's coming up in the season. We have a lot of really fun stuff lined up, a lot of fun interviews lined up, but we do have some episodes coming up that we've already recorded, or one that we're about to record very, very soon. One thing that we've recorded is actually another TED Talk episode with Jeremy and Rhonda from Main Street Magic.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, we actually recorded it a long time ago. We just never released it because our first episode of the season was a TED Talk. And I didn't really want to release another one that soon after.
Yeah,
so
you want to space them out.
Yeah, exactly. So that TED Talk is going to be about the future of Imagineering. We go into depth about where we think Imagineering is going to go, where the pitfalls are, what we're going to see, what we're not going to see, things like that. So it was a really fun conversation to actually have with them. We love Rhonda and Jeremy. We love Main Street Magic. Great show. Really great show if you want to find out information about Walt Disney World or reviews and things like that, because they love doing that kind of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And then also coming up this week, which today's Easter Sunday that we're recording this. This upcoming Tuesday, we're going to be recording with Parks and Cons, which we've never recorded with Parks and Cons before.
I can't believe it's taken this long.
I know. It's been a long time coming, but we've been friends with them for a very long time. We see them at all the events we go to. We hang out, we have drinks together, we eat. We pretty much do all these things theme park related together, but we've never actually sat down and recorded together.
Right?
Their format is different than ours, though. I think that might be a portion of that. You know, they do pretty much solely reviews and talking about their experiences, which we do that, but that's kind of all of it. They don't do like the top 5 or things like that. I mean, like they do like from the year, these are my top 5 haunts that we visited and things like that. Or
like year in reviews.
Yeah, year in review type stuff. But you know, Sean and Carmel, we love them to death. Great friends of ours since we've even started podcasting, even from the Park Fanatic days.
Yeah, way early
days. So we're really excited to have them on for a brand new segment. This is something brand new for season 5, and this is going to be something that is just steeped in positivity, and it's literally called Why I Love. And it's good. Every episode that we do a Why I Love is going to be about a different subject. So for Parks and Cons, the one that we're doing with them, we're doing Why I Love Scary Farm.
So easy.
Super easy for us to talk about Scary Farm. The reasons why we love it, the reasons why we go back year after year, multiple visits every year, things like that. So make sure you stay tuned for that episode. It's going to be a great one. And we're going to have more of that segment too. You know, obviously, why I love Disneyland, why I love Knott's, why I love Six Flags, why I love Universal, things like that. Even the smaller stuff too.
Why I love Mickey pretzels.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty simple answer.
I can talk about it for a while.
A while being an hour podcast?
Yeah.
Not repeating the same thing over and over again?
I never said that.
But yeah, so it should be a really, really fun segment on the show. I do have to give a shout out to Dave Cobb. That was kind of inspired by him, because after we had our season finale episode of last year, he said he would love to just come on and shoot the shit and talk about the love for the industry or love for things in general.
Well, then we'll have to have him on this segment.
We're gonna have to at some point, especially because it was inspired by that statement.
He can pick the topic.
Yes, I'll allow him to. Why I love everything I made. No, but it should be a really fun segment, so hopefully all of you guys can tune into that one as well. But plenty of other fun stuff coming up in the season, but you guys have waited long enough. Here is our fantastic interview with Matt and Mac from Drunken Devil. Be warned, explicit content ahead. Nikki, I am unbelievably excited to have these two gentlemen on the show today.
Same here.
We have been going to these events for a long time. We're big fans, not only because they're phenomenal events, but also alcohol.
Yeah.
So we are actually very, very excited to have the producers of Drunken Devil on the show, Matt and Mac. Welcome, guys.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank
Awesome
you guys
to be
so
here.
much. We're stoked to be here.
We're big fans of Drunken Devil events. As I mentioned, we've gone to a bunch of them. May not remember all of it, but we have gone to a lot of them.
You know, I think that's kind of the point of the Drunken Devil event is you're not supposed to really remember all of it.
It's a hazy mistake.
It's a hazy mistake. I wonder how many things in life you could say that about. But Drunken Devil events are definitely one of a kind type events that really delve into the realm of themed entertainment like we like discussing here, but really likes to kind of add more of, and no pun intended here, but a little bit of a devilish twist to things, because there's a lot of darker aspects to it, like things that you would be familiar with at a haunt, but at like a party.
Yeah.
You're kind of going around and you're interacting with these characters and you're drinking, you're having fun, and it's this really interesting mix that I don't think a lot of people have at their experiences.
Yeah, I mean, we try to be unique. You know, it came out of some really fun places.
I mean, it came from a haunt, really. Yeah. It started, it was rooted in haunts, you know? You were there for the Sinner Soiree. You were there for the very first haunt.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a show. That was an experience. You know? It was it was a learning curve.
That's where I got my start.
You have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, there's always a place to start, and there's always in anything that you're doing, there's always going to be mistakes made, and then you learn from those mistakes and you grow from those mistakes. And I definitely can say, like, even though maybe that one wasn't the best put together thing at the end of the day, that you've told me you weren't necessarily very happy with, the subsequent shows that you've had have been far above and beyond probably what you were expecting, and for us, we're very impressed with them. So although maybe that first one you weren't very happy with it, I think it was a learning experience for you in order to kind of get your feet to the next thing, which I think is pretty phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and definitely it was a learning experience. I'm glad that we're using that. It's a very gentle way of putting it.
You could be honest about it. I'm not going to do that because I actually enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
A lot.
You want to know why? It's because I got everybody drunk before they went through the haunted house. That's what I did.
I think that's the key.
That's the key. Okay, hazy mistakes. Well, it really came from the theme was there. We had everything we wanted. The pieces just didn't fit. There was a lot more. My first haunt was in Santa Barbara, and it was such a small town. There was no need for extensive permitting. Everything was like 10 times less expensive. It was such a different experience than creating something in LA. And we had everything there. It was there in my mind. It just didn't come together, but the bar at the end did. And that's sort of where the nightlife really stemmed from, sort of quote, very loose immersive. It wasn't even immersive. There were like a couple characters walking around, and the devil was, MAK was here in full devil getup.
Well, yeah, and that is where the character of the Drunken Devil started too. That was the first time you would ever, kind of come up with that idea. And I remember that being an incredible character, super, super fun to play for me. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and getting to play him in subsequent events was absolutely incredible.
I love him.
It's that attitude of that character mixed with the environment that kind of allows for a lot of really fun interactions with people.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And we remember our interactions from those experiences, and how many years ago was that? Say that, you leave an impression on people, which is great. And, you could tell there's a lot of inspirations from a lot of different things at these events. So as somebody who grew up in Southern California and having all these haunts at your disposal growing up, Scary Farm, things like that, let's talk a little bit about the dorky stuff for a second. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I want to put Hazy Mistakes on a t-shirt. Really?
Yes. Oh my God, I don't know why we're not. 100%. That should be a thing. Make a hazy mistake at Drunken Devil.
Yeah.
Hazy Mistakes at Drunken Devil. Yes, we'll do that for sure. But let's talk a little bit of the dorky side of things, because I think we're all in the same group here when it comes to just loving the spooky season. It speaks
twist
to
my
us.
arm.
Absolutely. I mean,
Halloween.
Matt, you want to talk about Halloween?
Then are you ready for a 6-hour conversation? Yes.
Yeah, because it could go longer probably. I was born and raised here. MAK was born in Arizona, and there's a funny story about MAK and Halloween that we'll tell, and his level of interest in horror until he met me.
So actually, if I can dive into that real quick, I was the kid that refused to go to haunted houses, refused to watch horror movies. I was like, nope, I don't like being scared. I'm just very much against it. And then, in college, Matt and I met, and that changed very quickly. Very quickly.
I fucked him right up. Wait, can we swear on this podcast?
Yeah, you can swear any word you want. I'm just going to bleep the F words.
Okay, got it.
That's the only thing. Everything else is fair game, in my opinion.
I've never been bleeped before, and I'm very excited.
Well, I'm pretty sure I bleeped you in real life.
It's gonna be fucking awesome. So,
okay.
If I say it, I shouldn't say that. I bleeped you in real life because it sounds like I'm bleeping myself from saying that I did something I probably shouldn't have done.
Ooh.
You just bleeped yourself in real life.
That's bad. This is going to be an explicit episode.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you should make an explicit. Anything that Drunken Devil is on is automatically explicit.
Yeah.
Hazy mistakes. Remember.
Yeah.
Hazy mistakes in podcast recordings. No, Mac, I'm right there with you. Actually, I was the kid. Even growing up in Southern California, I was the kid who was scared of everything. I was scared of my shadow, dude.
Totally.
Like, I just couldn't. I couldn't muster up the courage to do these things. I finally pushed myself to go with people, and it's no turning back. It's to put it very seriously, it's like an addiction. Getting scared in the spooky season is
crippling.
like an addiction.
Yeah, it's
like
you're just
adrenaline. chasing the high.
Chase the dragon.
Yeah. Dad, you're never gonna catch the dragon.
I could be wrong here, but I feel like everyone falls into one of two camps when it comes to spooky season in SoCal. You're either a Knott's person or you're a Universal person, and it's not that you dislike the other. It's just that you like one usually way more.
Well, Matt, haven't you been to Halloween Horror Nights like every year since you were like 13?
Yes, I have. I fall into that camp. I fall into the camp of Halloween Horror Nights. I went to Halloween Horror Nights before I went to Scary Farm, and Halloween Horror Nights is actually, I was, first of all, my addiction, I was a Universal Studios child, so like I love Disneyland. Who doesn't love Disneyland?
Well, you're talking to Nikki.
Yeah.
You guys are
I grew up in Ventura County, and Universal was closest, so I was a Universal kid. I had like the Costco pass, where you could go like six times in a year. Yeah. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I went to Horror Nights before Scary Farm, and I grew up with Universal.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. I was doing all that when I was young, and my haunt addiction probably started with a deep cut of like The Mummy, Chamber of whatever the fuck it was. I mean, whatever the hell it was.
You curse, it's fine. Just don't worry about it.
That daytime walkthrough scared me so bad, but I loved it, and I was like I was quickly falling in love with it. And then when I was younger, I think they had like the Beetlejuice musical thing, and I just remember Universal when I was young as a kid. It was very, very close to my heart, and that's why I'm very nostalgic about it, and that's why I can't wait to go back whenever we can.
Yeah, well, and Universal for me was the place you took me that kind of broke me out of that cycle of, oh no, I can't.
Did I take you to Horror Nights first?
I think you took me to Horror Nights first, yeah, and then we went to Knott's, Scary after that. But then also, I mean, being in your haunts was a huge thing, and he did haunts all through college and then afterwards, and so I was an actor in every single one of those, and I started to realize, this stuff is really fun.
It's fun.
When I'm not the one being scared.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Horror Nights is definitely the one to break you out of it. I would definitely say that out of the two, if we're talking about Scary Farm or Horror Nights, I would say for somebody who's a little scaredy pants, Horror Nights is definitely going to scare the living shit out of you because it's a bit surprising.
Yeah. And this was like, I think it was like 2011 is when we went, when I took you for the first time.
Oh, that's like early on too.
That was like before Knott's revamped. And so Horror Nights was way more. It was before Knott's revamped and Horror Nights got like mildly watered down.
It was like immersion therapy for me.
It was, we had a great time, and I was, we also did, I took you to everything else. We went to like Reign of Terror, and we went to, what else did we do? We did a lot. We did a lot
of the SoCal haunts in that first year. I remember because I was
Sinister Point.
Oh, Sinister Point. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, when it comes to all these haunts, it's really a pick your flavor type situation because none of them are the same. They're all so different, and they all kind of choose one particular way on how to scare people, or themes, or how many rooms, or how many monsters, or tactics of monsters. There's so many different things that all these different haunts that utilize, and it's interesting that how each one of those things could really inspire you in order to kind of create something too, which is really easy. I mean, clearly, you were really inspired by a lot of this, like all these little things from everywhere. So it's really cool to kind of hear where all that love comes from too.
Yeah.
Because it's no different than anybody else, but you have the balls to actually do something really damn cool with it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
other than me blabbing about it on a podcast.
No, but I mean, yeah, haunts were the first love. We met in college, going in the theater department.
Yep.
So I did haunts all through college, like in the dorms, and then it was my senior project for the theater department. I don't know how I got away with that, but I did.
Nice.
You had to do some serious convincing. At our conservative Christian college.
Yes, I did.
Oh wow.
But then, yeah, in 2013, we did The Nightmare House, which was that first sort of like, it was a haunt, but with very, very, very light interactive elements. And it was like, you went into the mind of a serial killer named Damien Bloodworth. And I don't know. Did I know you guys back then?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so. Rick had gone up with, Rick and Johanna came up. Some Sinister Point people came up. A lot of like SoCal Haunt people came up for that, actually.
That's awesome.
That was also when we were going to the TPA.
We were going to TPA.
Yeah, so there's that big mix of people that know all about the details. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and so we did that, and Damien Bloodworth was kind of like the first haunt character that I came up with, a sort of like blue collared.
He was kind of a podunk.
Podunk cannibal serial killer. Yeah. Your standard redneck.
Yeah.
But in that show, you went into his mind, and so it was all very twisted and warped and very like remarkably graphic. As I remember, there was like a dead baby in a jar that he had pulled out of someone. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And also a lot of like satanic worship too. So, standard fare. Your standard fare. And that was the last haunt I did. I moved back to LA in 2014 and then took a year off kind of like trying things. I came up with a company name for like 5 minutes called Black Magic Creative Arts. That didn't last long. And then in 2015, Drunken Devil came into existence at a smoky bar where I was drunk on martinis, Villain's Tavern, which is no longer in existence, sadly. But missed that place. And then so we did the first haunt, and that's where everything fell apart and was built back together again. I feel like I brought that up multiple times, but
that first haunt was something special though, because it's where the Drunken Devil was created. That first time the character was ever in your mind was there for that haunt.
Yeah, and then as the bar was a success with those characters, and then I took that sort of like nightlife element. I had started going out a lot, going to a lot of underground parties, and doing all of the crazy irresponsible things.
As you do.
As I do. It was so much fun. I'm a small part of me misses it, but also I'm old and I like barely make it past 10 p.m. But now that you say it, there are a lot of haunt elements in the nightlife series and the dining experiences. There's the mood of it all, the lighting, the characters, obviously the themes. Yeah. Nothing is ever not dark.
Right. It was all very, very
all
dark.
Macabre.
Yeah. It's all very macabre to a certain extent. But taking it back a little bit, like when you started kind of thinking about the idea of that very first Drunken Devil event, where was your head at, and what was inspiring you to kind of take those next steps?
I'd always wanted to do one in LA, and I think there was something about the environment of where I was at the time of Villains, and I was going through this like jazz New Orleans phase, which I'm not entirely out of yet.
I was gonna say going through.
I'm always going to be in it. But I was listening to a lot of jazz, and I was just really, really fascinated by New Orleans. I think when Coven came out, that may have started it.
Oh, American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And just sort of like I just was fascinated by all of the rich lore and mythology around that city. And then I just was like, a devil, and he's like a southern gentleman, and he's sly and he's mischievous, and he's this charlatan that he invites you to hell, and the closer you get, the more enamored you are, and then oops, you've sold your soul and you're in hell. And that was the story that I came up with, and that's sort of where he came to be. And then we developed this inner soiree, and I was like, Mac, do you want to play the devil? And this is what I'm thinking. Go.
Yeah.
And
well,
made this.
Did
character.
that take a lot of convincing for you, man?
It took absolutely zero convincing at all. I was so in to play the devil. What he didn't tell me up front though was that I was going to have to spend 3 hours a night in a makeup chair.
Yes.
To make sure that I could be wearing the prosthetics and all the airbrush and stuff like that. But even that was worth it. I really, really loved playing the character, and with that first haunt, even I felt like he was he was something that was going to extend. You know, he was.
I think even before that, like at the last Scare we did.
Right. That's right.
That's when we introduced him,
and I really got into character for him. I think that it really helps when you have a prosthetic on your face and you don't look anything like yourself. But but he was something that I could really dive into and really sink my teeth into as an actor, and really he's this this infernal host that really wants people to have a good time, but kind of at their own expense, kind of thing. So it was such a fun idea, and so when Matt came to me with that, it was like, absolutely, I'll do that 100%.
And he's not like an inherent. He's evil, but he's like a fun evil, right? You want to be friends with him.
He's a bad guy, but he's kind of cool a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's kind of fun.
He's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, Mac, I can't give you any more accolades than telling you that you do a phenomenal job playing this character, because one, there's so much versatility to how you could play it, and you chose it in the right way, where it's like there's just enough that you think to yourself, should I really be talking to this person? But there's enough of the charm and interest where you can't stop talking to this person.
That's exactly what we wanted.
100%.
That's so nice of you to say, because that's kind of exactly what I was going for with him. Something that's like, man, I don't know about this guy,
but I do.
But I do like him.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I can't imagine putting myself in your shoes having to do that, because there's one thing to say like, hey, you're going to be filmed doing it. There's a whole nother thing saying, hey, we're going to put you in this makeup and you have to interact with everybody and be on your feet.
It's like improv, all night. That's a lot.
That's absolutely incredible.
Exactly. That was one thing that was really kind of fun for me. Was I had really not done a whole lot of improv in my career before that. And so to put on this makeup and to be a different character for 4 or 5 hours and interacting with people where you have no idea what they're going to say to you, it really made that a fun kind of acting challenge for me, and it made it so that the character was really personal for everybody that met him.
And I think that actually really sells, and I think that's part of what's really fun about Drunken Devil, is because of those little interactions, it feels personal. It doesn't feel like just like a kind of a general show that's happening where everyone's kind of getting the same experience, because some other people could actually have a very intimate experience as opposed to other people who are kind of off to the side drinking, watching, and kind of observing, which is a whole nother thing in and of itself. But you can have this very intimate close up experience with this with this devil that you don't know what his intentions are, but you can't stop talking to him. I actually have a very vivid memory of going to our first one, and Mac, you coming up to Nikki and you kind of being very like sultry with her and kind of like a little bit like flirty with
we
her.
have a picture of it.
And we have a picture of this.
Amazing.
And I'm having a great time of it, but Nikki doesn't like that type of interaction. She's squirming, and I'm laughing at that. And you sense that, and I knew you were sensing that. And it was just such a fun interaction because you were pressing those little buttons that I don't think you quite knew until you saw her reactions.
Exactly. That's so fun. Man.
I am not good at the improv. My mind goes blank. And I'm just basically a potato. Like, yeah. That's why I hate like Ghost Town Alive and all that stuff. I can't function.
So you came up and flirted with her, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and like I'm kind of an imposing dude as well. Like,
you're tall.
I'm a 6'4" guy. I'm a monster. I got really broad shoulders, so it's like, oh, this giant man is coming to talk to me.
Satan.
This giant Satan.
And then he's wearing a top hat, so he's even taller. And his cape, and you're like, what the?
What should I feel? It definitely imposing for sure.
I had a few more drinks in me the second year, so I was much better.
Yeah, you were actually interacting with a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And even the one where there was the Axeman who was kind of walking around.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the story happening.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Everybody who's listening, it's hard to kind of go through every single one of these years because they kind of evolved and changed over time. And there was more interactive elements and more story happening at the times. And, even to the point where the last one I actually remember going to, which I believe was this one, there was people walking around with like bullet wounds on their head, but they didn't know they were dead. And
I think you went to, I think that was Curse. You went to
that's
the
Curse.
One.
That's a tiki.
Curse
one.
of
Oh
the
yeah,
Jungle Drums,
it was
See,
the
there was
tiki
another
one.
one. That
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
tiki one. So those people didn't know they were dead because there was an Indiana Jones character walking around
Mhm.
too and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the one.
Yeah, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" They're like, "Oh, I'm having a good time," and they're just like blood's all over them.
That was well, and actually Matt should take off on that because that's kind of where the whole universe started to come out of it.
So that's kind of the genesis of where the whole story kind of took off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome because that one was really, really good. So
Mhm.
I'm actually really excited to kind of hear this.
Yeah. So, we, from the haunt to that event, it was like 2015 to mid 2017. That was middle of 2017.
Yeah.
A lot of experimenting. We did a couple shows in 2016, and then we did Bloody Gras at the top of 2017, just sort of a generic thing where we were toying with those more interactive elements and we were pretty solid in like we had the burlesque, we had of course the open bar with the themed cocktails, we had the decor, and it was like, oh, this is a themed party with some characters. But 2017 was really the beginning of, I guess, the storyline. It was Curse of the Jungle Drums. It was, the Indiana Jones character, John Washburn. He was the first of 7 that I was sort of coming up with and thinking about. And, what if I did a party series where each one of them is representative of the 7 deadly sins? So he was greed. And then the next one was called Night of a Thousand Devils, which was wrath. And that was actually, we brought back Damien Bloodworth from the very first haunted house that Mac also played.
So I played him both times, both very different characters, but they had the same name and similar kind of mannerisms about them. And so it was really fun to kind of touch on both of those characters and play them.
And then we did another one, and we did Tales of Storyville, which was another Mardi Gras themed party in 2018. And that was a brothel of vampires in Storyville, which was New Orleans' red light district. And that was a very insane event. We had marionettes walking around. There was burlesque. There was a host of these vampire prostitutes that were walking around like biting people. There were vampire hunters. There was an absinthe fountain. It was just a crazy mess. But as I sort of like started doing these events, I was like, okay, at some point, these characters are all going to be in the same in a shared universe. And I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm going to do all of these events, and we're going to sort of build out this world with all of these characters. And so we did a few more, and the last one we did before shutdown was called Black Magic, and it was a 1920s magic in Los Angeles. So there were tons of magicians. There was burlesque, there was a live jazz band, and there was the sin was sloth.
That one was
Sloth. And there was a character, Evelyn Foster, who was the last sin in the series, and she was a sort of like an ingenue that wanted to be a really great magician, so she sold her soul to the devil and got these powers. It was hosted by George Bloodworth, who was Damien's great grandfather. Great grandfather. And so we came up with this world and this universe where all these characters interacted under the eye of the devil, and they all had their own motives, but the devil was sort of, the puppet master and putting together this plan. And then COVID happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were like, damn, we can't expand this universe anymore. We're stuck. And then we were like, well, wait a minute.
Right.
What? No, we
Don't be
absolutely
stuck.
can.
We can't be stuck. Yeah.
And we're both obsessed with
As
storytelling.
There's creativity in the world. You can never.
You can always create. But we started working together in theater and shooting short films and doing plays, and so we're like, let's tell the story. And I had written this very long sort of compendium of Drunken Devil things. These characters, these storylines. There was an event in 2019 that we had to cancel. It was called the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
And we're going to introduce God into the universe. We never did.
Our version of God, and
Yeah.
how she interacts with the Drunken Devil,
Mm-hmm.
which is really fun. It was going to be really fun, but unfortunately, COVID.
No, that one's we just had to cancel.
Oh, we just had to cancel that one.
Yeah. And then we were like, well, shit, like we have this giant universe of characters and these very clear stories, so we should flesh them out and start telling these stories, and like, let's go beyond the live entertainment format and see where we go. So we worked really hard, and
I mean, so because we were like, oh, well, we can't be doing the intimate live events anymore. We can't be having people that close to one another, talking to actors and things like that. So how do we get this universe out to more people? You know what I mean? Like, and so the other thing is too, like, because these events were just in LA, they were only reaching a small amount of people. When we feel like this story is, nationwide at the very least. You know what I mean? We global. Can tell this. It could be global. Yeah. It can be resonated with across the world. But we were only telling it to a select few people that got to come to our events in LA. So we kind of pivoted away from the live events for now. Kind of really looking at other ways to tell this story and to expand our universe, and landed on an audio drama because before the pandemic, audio dramas were really starting to pick up. And there were things like out there like the Left Right Game and, all sorts of really Night Vale and horror style podcasts, things that were narrative based. No Sleep. Yeah. And they were all narrative based. And we loved that style. And so we were like, well, why don't we just do that with the host of original characters and the Drunken Devil? Why don't we tell their stories through a new medium, which is for us is going to be an audio drama.
It feels like a really natural stepping off point.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
It feels very natural because during all of these events, you are telling a story. And even if the people who didn't go to these events start tuning in, they're going to be filled in on who all these people were at these previous events. And if these future events do happen, they're going to know who they are, and they're going to be filled in on that story, and that interaction and those moments are going to be that much stronger.
Yeah, you're going to reach a whole new audience. It's so exciting. And I'm personally excited because I missed everything in 2018 because I was very pregnant. So
that will make it
yeah,
hard
that's
to go to
why there was the baby that came into the
So open bar nightclubs weren't my thing that year. Right. Yeah. But so I missed a lot, and I was you don't even know how bummed I was that I missed so much. But so I am particularly excited for this.
What's really cool about the stories we're telling is we're taking all those characters from the events and just kind of expanding them in this universe and telling all the little details that we couldn't really get into the events even, you know what I mean? So we're able to kind of not just tell the same story, but really expand it and really give it some new life and really bring this whole thing into people's homes as well, and making sure that they experience it in a way that we think is good for them and good for us.
It's accessible.
Yeah, very accessible. Now, can you give us a little bit of a peek inside what you guys have been thinking about for these series of shows? Obviously don't spoil anything because we're going to listen and we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
But we want to hear kind of the inner workings of how you guys have come to the conclusion of the storytelling and what story you're going to tell and how you're going to tell it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's something that we wanted to really, this first season is one of 4. So the first season right now that we're working on is going to be focused on the Drunken Devil's origin story, basically, cool. How he came to be the Drunken Devil. And then, how he and their God and the devil's relationship, and the fall and things like that, as well as in our world the devil was cast out of heaven for creating and introducing alcohol to the angels
when he was Lucifer.
That's
a key plot point. That is not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. That's a pretty key. That's kind of who our devil is,
and we get to explore his, like Mac said, his relationship with God, because they were very close. They were friends, and when he sort of betrayed her by in a way turning angels into crazed demonic like figures through alcohol, she cast them all out, and then they meet after eons pass. They stew, they're bitter, and then they decide to play a game, and the game is actually humankind, and whoever can sway the mortals to their side through influence wins this game. And that's sort of the baseline. And we visit I think
Well, and that's sort of the baseline for the whole series.
Yeah,
like
the
that's
whole series
for,
is the game that
right
they're playing.
is kind of under that guy or under that umbrella of this is all played, the game that is being played by God and the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And the first season is kind of a trip through time, right?
I mean,
Because-
the whole series is a trip through time.
True.
Season 1 explores the very beginning.
Right,
So
we get Garden of Eden, we get the fall, we get all of that information.
and then we go through
Cool.
Bacchanalia, which was a 2018 event with Caligula and ancient Rome,
Mhm.
and then the Tales of Storyville, that story in New Orleans,
circa
1917.
1917, which is going to be really cool.
So it
And
sounds
that's
like
season
there's-
1.
It sounds like there's a lot, not only kind of a mystical aspect to this, but also a historical aspect to these as
Mhm.
well that a lot of people can kind of delve into too.
Yep.
And kind of expanding on that and how your characters are leaving a footprint on that history that's already existing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it was kind of the way we look at it is kind of looking back through history and through what we learned about, the way the world began and giving it our own little twist,
Yep.
giving it our devilish little twist and making it more of a horror fantasy driven narrative, which is going to be really, really fun. And, being able to, like I said, expand these characters' stories and, give details about their lives and details about the events that you didn't necessarily get to see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really excited about.
So let's talk about probably the most important part of all of this, the drinks. There are there are paired drinks.
Of course
with
there
this
are.
show.
Of course there are.
This isn't just a normal audio drama about the god and devil and things like that. There are drinks involved in this process. That
of
is
course.
the upside. Well, actually, the upside is getting a great story, but the added benefit
Oh,
is
yeah.
the hazy mistakes along the way.
Exactly right.
Exactly. And there's even more than that. So there's the episodes. It's going to be 9 episodes. Each episode does have a paired cocktail. I think we'll touch on this at some point, but we are raising funds through a Kickstarter to get this off the ground because A, production is crazy.
Oh yeah.
And then B, all these extra elements. Everyone will get if you donate to the Kickstarter, there's a downloadable cocktail book with these great portraits that we took. Every portrait has hints and clues to the story of the Drunken Devil and the world. The cocktail book itself will have little hints and clues.
Well, and the cocktails themselves also are inspired by the episode that they are supposed to be drunk with.
Thematically
So-
appropriate.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's amazing.
And
Please,
so
tell me there's a spicy drink somewhere. Is there a
a
spicy,
spicy drink?
Yeah, something spicy.
There is a chai infused rum. That's a spicy we're going to get for season 1. Season
But then
2. Season 2 we have when we our event in Mexico. So there's
There's got to be a spicy tequila.
There's
or
definitely a
something.
spicy drink in there.
drinks in the Mexican
Sweet.
storyline,
Yeah.
which is very
Hot
near
mama.
and dear to my heart. But in addition to the cocktails, there's also going to be interactive elements that happen because, again, trying to capture the spirit of the events,
Yeah.
drinking, intimate interactions with characters. But how do you take that to like we're in present day listening to this like radio drama, but it's also in the settings of season 1 as the Garden of Eden and heaven and hell and
Right.
Rome, like all very old. In real life, as the episodes are going on, there will be interactive elements. There will be characters that are not necessarily part of the storyline that you're listening to, but characters in modern day that are informed by what you're listening to. So there's going to be a
gotcha.
whole other meta storyline with, emails and dossiers and all of that.
Because
Okay.
ultimately, the last season that we have planned is in a either very close future or modern day. It's kind of right around that time, so we're going to be involving characters.
We're trying not to date ourselves.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there will be characters and these interactive elements that Matt's talking about that will come back into the story later on. So we're going to have these interactive elements that are kind of teasing out the story and building the lore of this universe as on the days that you're not listening to the podcast.
What I love about this idea is the fact that there is a whole group of people who are dying right now because of COVID-19, All these events have been shut down. There's no interactive anything, and I'm talking about from the top to the bottom. So there's a whole bunch of people waiting for something to happen so that they can experience it again. And this is something that they can easily do from the safety of their own home or their own car, wherever they're listening to it. Hopefully if they're drinking, they're at home.
Please don't drink.
Please don't drink while you're in the car.
But you said to drink it with the show. No, don't do that at all. Drink it at home. But there's this whole group of people who are just dying to have this experience again, and this is something so wonderful that you could have at home and still have that added excitement of there's an email here, and there's this person who's talking to me, I have to talk back, and like all this stuff. That I absolutely love that, and I'm getting excited thinking about that because I love listening to audio dramas and shows and things like that. But never have I ever had a show where there's a paired drink and I get to talk to characters at the same time.
You might not know when it happens. You're waiting for the next week episode to drop in. Oh, what's that? What's this? What's this group of people? What is this? Does this have? I don't know what this is. And then you hear something in the next week episode, and you're like, could that be the start of this, but happening in ancient Rome? Wait, hold on. And then you might need to wait for a few more seasons for that. But every season will have a beginning, middle, and end. And every, I guess, out of audio experience will have a beginning and end. But there's little Easter eggs. We're very, we love an Easter egg. We love a universe.
Yeah. And so building out this universe with our Easter eggs in season 1 that will bear fruit, in seasons 3 and 4. So it's really exciting.
That's awesome.
Well, it's always to kind of start, hiding those things in plain sight. So that when people do find out about it, it's such a punch in the face of like, oh my God. It was there the whole time? What the heck?
Yeah, it's ambitious.
It is an ambitious project, but I think it's something that's completely doable, and I think there's an audience for this. There are a whole bunch of people who want this kind of experience, especially now, more than ever. And it gives us a little bit of a glimmer of hope, too, to have this kind of stuff come back, because I imagine this in the concept of the events that you've had in the past. And that gets me excited for the future of Drunken Devil.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something about the future of Drunken Devil too, is look, we don't want to say that we're not going back to events, right? Because we'd love to, but eventually basically what it'll be is there'll be fewer and further between, but much more intricate and involved with the universe and the story that we're telling.
And hopefully by that time it won't be restricted to just LA, hopefully we'll have a wider reach through our audio dramas, through the other forms of storytelling we have planned, where people around the nation and hopefully the globe at some point will be able to experience a Drunken Devil in-person event.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there really isn't anything like this, because any interactive haunt or thematic kind of experiences that you go to, that story ends as soon as you leave that event. But in this case, as soon as that event ends, you still have this storytelling that can potentially go on and on and on until the next one. So you're consistently telling this full story between events and at the events, and continue to keep people entranced to these stories of the Drunken Devil or wherever that story may take you. Because really, that character can be placed in any situation possible throughout history or anything at all, and it can work, which I think is really, really exciting.
Immersion is going to the next level, you know what I mean? Trying to make it not just at the event, but like in your real life as well.
Matt comes, knocks on your door. He's like, drink. Have a drink with me.
And in our world, without giving too much away, the devil and God have been playing this since the very beginning of time. There's a lot of time that passes that's not addressed in the cosmic game, which opens up spin-offs, which opens up other stories that we've already started developing, one-off audio dramas that tell other people's stories that happen to be in this universe, and it ties in some way. We've spent a lot of, we've had ample time to plan.
Been
and
stuck inside for a year trying to use our creativity.
But obviously the cosmic game comes first to like set the storyline and let people know what the world is and what the rules are.
Right.
So
and the cosmic game is elaborate. It is a sweeping epic of a story.
4 seasons. From the beginning of time to modern,
to modern times / very near future.
Well, I'm beyond excited. I know that Nikki's also excited about the the potentiality of all these stories, and I'm just excited to have another great show to listen to.
Yeah, same.
And obviously done by two wonderful people that we would like to consider friends. So obviously gonna support you guys in any way, shape, or form, because I absolutely love this idea. And hopefully everybody listening
guys.
will tune in and head over to your funding site, which I think you should let everybody know about, so that they could kind of get tuned into all the information.
Absolutely. So right now we are in pre-launch. We launch April 8th. April 8th, we launch a Kickstarter. Everything is available now to sign up for our pre-launch.
You can sign up for updates, and it'll let you know when the event or when the Kickstarter goes live. Mm-hmm. That's all through our website.
Our website, thedrunkendevil.com. And you can do thedrunkendevil.com/Kickstarter and get taken directly to our website page. You can go on our social media, Instagram @DrunkenDevil, Twitter @DrunkenDevil_, and then Facebook is /TheDrunkenDevil. So any of those places we'll be able to direct you to the Kickstarter page.
Who took the Drunken Devil name on Instagram that you had to use the underscore at the end?
Oh, that was Twitter. I don't know who it was.
Twitter. Who is it? Should we go beat him up? Should we go beat him up?
Yeah, we should go find him and do some. I'll wear the devil makeup and we'll just scare the crap out of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say the devil should go and be like, "Excuse me, I think you have my Twitter handle."
Just send Mac. Mac's terrifying.
Yeah.
He's so imposing. He's like, I'm gonna give you a bear hug. Yeah, come here and break you.
Come here, I'll break you.
Break you. No, beyond excited, guys. I'm really happy for you guys to be taking this next step in this storytelling process, because as we've said multiple times, big fans of this, and we're looking forward to some phenomenal shows from you guys, and also looking forward to the events coming back, because those are pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
I never got to go to one, but I want to go to one of those dinners, because those dinners looked
yeah.
That was something that we lost in quarantine as well, because Matt was doing some incredible work with the Live and Dine in LA series,
and that, just to tell everyone, Live and Dine in LA is actually not part of Drunken Devil moving forward. It's because it's not in the universe. So it'll happen. It will still happen.
So it's more historical, like actual real life historical. So we kind of decided to take that outside of the universe.
Yeah, and it's not that historical is excluded, because we do have our share of history. Just doesn't refer to the Drunken Devil at all. So I guess that's another touch point, is that, moving forward with this audio drama and everything else, it's all going to be within the universe. So when you think Drunken Devil, you're like, yes, I am in this storyline. I'm in this world.
Yes, the Drunken Devil Universe, or the DDU.
The DDU, as we like to call
it. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by with us, talking some dorky haunt stuff, inspirations.
Hell yeah.
Drunken Devil all together. The future is bright with you guys, and I'm very excited.
Thank you guys so much for having us. Yeah, it's been awesome to be here.
Fuck me, that was good.
I can't do it. I've been trying to psych myself up. Like, I'm gonna.
I don't know how you have to psych yourself up for it.
Because it's not natural.
It rolls off the tongue.
No, it's not natural.
It's like you sprinkle it over your sentence to spice it up like SpongeBob.
Also, I know your parents listen. Hi.
Well, they can listen if they want to, and I don't give two flying fucks if they hear this. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
After you said that, you're like, oh wait, I do.
Oh wait, kind of do. Whoops.
No, it just doesn't come naturally for me.
No, it doesn't. I think I speak like a sailor, so it comes off very naturally for me.
Yeah.
And on our show, we try to keep that kind of stuff to a minimum, but obviously, sometimes with guests, it gets a little loose depending on what's going on. I think within the context of this episode and our guests and Matt and Mac, it came off much easier.
Yeah.
So, but it was a fantastic chat we had with them. We're so excited about this upcoming project, and we can't wait to have a listen to more of the history and the lore of Drunken Devil, and seeing kind of the background behind a lot of these characters, and really the Drunken Devil universe, as it were.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait. It's going to become like a routine, just like a part of our weekly routine, just to listen to these and have a drink. And
literally. Yeah. That's kind of what we do normally is, you sit down, we have a drink or something, regardless of whether or not it's alcoholic beverage, tea, coffee, whatever it is, and watch something or listen to something. this is now going to, like you said, going to be part of that. You sit down, turn the lights low, maybe turn the hue lights red.
Yep.
Listen to the Drunken Devil podcast and really just get into that. And they're giving us cocktail recipes to go with it, so that's fantastic.
Yep.
So we don't have to do a lot of thinking. Blup, blup, blup. There you go.
It's our favorite type of evening.
No thinking.
No thinking. We think enough.
Oh, we definitely think enough. That's totally true. But thank you so much to Matt and MAK for spending some time with us and chatting about their new exciting project. You know, we can't speak more highly of them and the product that they're putting forward. So make sure everybody check it out. Like I said, link is in the description. Check it out. See if you want to donate some money to this awesome project. So thank you everybody for listening to this bonus episode. I know that we're kind of dropping bonus episodes more frequent.
I know.
The content is just kind of rolling out this season, and I don't want to have a show where, you know, the stuff that's a little bit more current gets pushed back.
Yeah.
I want that current stuff to kind of happen as it's happening, you know, and that kind of came with Boysenberry Fest, or not, Taste of Boysenberry Festival, or whatever the last bonus one was. It might have been that one. We were gonna do a bonus.
No, is it Universal?
No, Universal was a normal episode because we were gonna do a bonus of that.
Yeah.
But then we got sick.
Oh yeah. So we waited a week.
We just kind of waited to record that because we're talking with the nose nasally.
We're a little nasally normally because we're allergy ridden,
Yes.
but we were extra nasally. It was bad.
Well, that's because we have a gosh dang menagerie in this house.
You're not allergic to birds.
That's true.
And we only have birds and a dog.
And a child. I'm allergic to the child.
Oh yeah, she's our wildest animal.
I'm also allergic to your bullshit.
Yeah. Ditto. I'm allergic to my own.
You should. How does that work?
It's not pleasant.
Just a constant reaction to your own bullshit.
A lot of self-loathing.
No. But seriously, no. It's yeah, we were sick, so we didn't want to put out that episode. But you know, episodes are just gonna come out. If we have bonus content, we have a content that we want to put out to you guys, we're gonna put it out. So extra content. It's all free. You know, we're not charging for this stuff. So, you know, hopefully you guys are really, really enjoying all the stuff that we're putting out for you guys. And a free way to support us is making sure you head on over to iTunes wherever you're listening and leaving us a review or a rating. You know, that way it brings us up higher in the standings and it makes it easier for everyone to find us and enjoy us like you are right now. So thank you again for constantly leaving ratings and reviews for us. They're always extremely appreciated. I want to try to get to 100 ratings reviews this season. We're at 90. We're at 93 right now. We're at 93. If we get to 100, we'll do some big giveaway. But that is
we
the
should
goal.
also do something. Okay, we should also do something like we did something where I got pied in the face. We should do something like that.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, no, we'll mull it over. No, it won't be pie in the face again, but we'll do something fun and put it on our YouTube because our YouTube has been neglected.
Well, I mean, it's not really neglected because these episodes also come out on YouTube.
No, that doesn't count.
Fine.
That doesn't count.
Fine. We'll do something
fun.
Give
the people what they want.
We'll do something fun. So if we get to 100 reviews by the end of the season or somewhere in the middle of the season, we'll do a giveaway and we'll do a special YouTube thing where we'll do something to each other. I don't know what it is.
Well, Lady and Tramp the Fun Bun.
Lady and Tramp the Fun Bun, which was something that potentially could have happened.
It didn't because we didn't get enough likes.
No, we did not.
Okay, no, but seriously, if we hit 100 reviews, we will do something fun.
We'll do something fun.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
On YouTube.
At our own expense.
Yeah.
So make sure you leave a rating and review to see what potentially we could do. So that is definitely exciting coming in the future. But also, if you haven't followed us already, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, literally everywhere at Theme Park Duo. We're pretty present on all those platforms, releasing pictures, commenting, talking about whatever news is coming out, things like that.
Talking about grilled cheese and ketchup.
Grilled cheese and ketchup.
Thank you for everyone who voted.
Which you did get some emails.
I did. I
did get some emails, which made you very happy.
Yep.
But the ultimate culmination of that Twitter poll was that you are disgusting.
It was just that a lot of people don't know what's good in life.
Rude. It was like 70% of people thought that was not great. And
I want to know.
Thought it was good.
I want to know how many of those people have actually tried it.
I probably didn't try it, but just in general, don't think it's a great idea.
Yeah, no, you know what? Don't knock it till you tried it. And I told that to some Twitter person.
Some Twitter person.
Yes, I said
Some
don't knock it till
random
you try
Twitter
it.
person.
Yeah, no, seriously, guys. Thank
Take
you.
that.
Thank you
Twitter
though.
person.
No, I want to say thank you, Gabe, for actually following through
On a Twitter poll?
on a Twitter poll for
Well,
once.
I had a stake in this. I almost said I had some stake in this, but there's no steak in that sandwich.
Steak is no part of the sandwich.
There's no part of the sandwich with steak. That would be a different story
yeah.
if it was steak. It would be
But
most of a different color.
even though I lost, I did find some kindred spirits out there.
You did find some kids. Somebody said they thought they were the only ones.
And now we're not. and now
you're
we're
not.
in this alone together.
30% of people are not alone with you, so
They're alone with me.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but yeah, we're definitely present on social media platforms. Also, like we said, people emailed us those responses as well. If you ever want to email us, it's just saying hi, you're a fan of the show, things you want to hear, things you don't want to hear about.
A suggestion for what happens to us if we get 100 reviews?
Yeah, if you have a suggestion for what we should be doing if we get 100 reviews, what horrible act we should be doing, somewhere south and less of, some saw trap.
Yeah.
Some horrific saw trap. Send them to us. You can always reach us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
Yes, and thank you again so much, everybody, for enjoying our nonsense this week. Have a phenomenal week, and hope everybody had a fun Easter Sunday. And always remember, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya!
Thanks for riding with the Theme Park Duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.